In 2014, a happy family bought their dream home in an upscale New Jersey neighborhood. 6 bedrooms, quiet streets, safe, perfect for raising kids. But just days after they signed the papers, a letter arrived. No return address, just a message from someone who called themselves the Watcher. The letter welcomed them to the neighborhood and then described their children in disturbing detail. What followed was a string of anonymous threats, chilling predictions, and terrifying revelations, all tied to a century-old obsession with one specific house, 657 Boulevard. This is the true story of the Watcher. This story comes wrapped in layers of mystery. Even today, one terrifying detail still remains unsolved. It's a case that comes straight from the heart of America, specifically Westfield, New Jersey. Just about a 45-minute drive from New York City, Westfield is a quiet, peaceful town. The kind of place where people leave their doors unlocked and nothing bad ever really happens. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. Westfield wasn't always known for peace and quiet. About 50 years ago, the town was rocked by a horrifying event. In 1971, a man named John List murdered his wife, his mother, and all 3 of his children. The crime shocked the nation. But after that, silence. Westfield returned to normal. Years passed. People moved on. Until 2014. Derek, a successful man working at a life insurance company in New York, was celebrating his 40th birthday. He had a wife, Maria, and 3 young kids, aged 5, 8, and 10. For years, they'd been living in a modest 3-bedroom house. But now, it was time for something bigger, something permanent. So in June 2014, Derek and Maria bought a stunning 6-bedroom colonial-style home in Westfield. The address, 657 Boulevard. It was the kind of house you dream of. Big, beautiful, quiet neighborhood. Perfect place to raise a family. The price? $1.4 million. But Derek didn't mind. He saw it as a long-term investment. A place where his kids would grow up and have memories. Before they moved in, they decided to do some renovations. Painting, repairs, furniture. The usual. Construction crews came and went. And for the first couple of weeks, everything was fine. Until one day, Derek stopped by the house to check on the work. He found an envelope in the mailbox. No return address. Inside was a typed letter. And the moment he read it, his blood ran cold. Welcome to 657 Boulevard. The letter began. Allow me to welcome you. You must have found your way here for a reason. Was it the force that brought you to 657 Boulevard? Derek frowned. The letter continued. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades. My grandfather watched over it in the 1920s. My father in the 1960s. And now, it's my turn. This house is the legacy of my family. I walk by it every day. Perhaps I was in one of the hundreds of cars that passed beneath your window. Maybe you saw me. Maybe you didn't. But I saw you. I've always seen you. And at the bottom of the letter, no name. Just a signature. The Watcher. Derek felt uneasy, but he brushed it off. Maybe a prank. A bored neighbor. No big deal. Until a week later, another letter arrived. This time, it was worse. I have seen your children. So far, I count 3. Are there more on the way? Was your old home too small for your growing family? Or did greed bring you here? Once I know their names, I will call to them. I will bring them to me. Derek's heart dropped. It wasn't just creepy anymore. It was threatening. The letter went on to ask, will your children sleep in the attic? Or will they be on the 2nd floor? Who's in the bedroom that faces the street? I know. I watch. So now, Derek and Maria are stuck. They've just dropped $1.4 million on what they thought was their dream home. But instead of joy, they're getting watched, stalked, hunted by someone who knows everything about them. And the letters? They're not just creepy anymore. They're methodical, personal, strategic. One of them said, once I learn their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. Another warned, you have already begun to destroy the house with your foolish renovations. The consequences will be terrible. And then, the most chilling part, do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Derek and Maria shut everything down. No more renovations. No move-in date. They couldn't even sleep. This watcher, had turned their American dream into a waking nightmare. So they escalate. They go to the Westfield police. Nothing. They hire private detectives. Nothing. Eventually, the FBI steps in. They analyze the envelopes, the seals, the saliva, and they find something. The DNA on the seal belongs to a woman, but that's it. No match in the system. No link to any neighbors. No way to trace it. They test handwriting, everyone on the street, nearby, even the previous owners. Still nothing. At this point, Derek and Maria are exhausted, emotionally wrecked, financially stretched. The kids? They're terrified. They never move in. Instead, they put the house back on the market. No takers. They even consider suing the previous owners for not disclosing the letters, though legally, they weren't required to. Eventually, in desperation, they rent the house out, just to cover the mortgage. But here's the kicker. Even the renters got a letter, and it said, 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It is coming after me. I don't understand why. What spell did you cast on it? The watcher was still watching, still writing, still waiting. To this day, the case remains unsolved. The watcher's identity? Unknown. And 657 Boulevard? Still standing. Still beautiful. Still hiding something dark behind its walls. By this point, Derek and Maria were exhausted, physically, emotionally, financially. They had made a decision. For the safety of their children, they would never move into 657 Boulevard. Derek figured the best way forward was to cut their losses. Just sell the house. Move somewhere else. Somewhere normal. But there was a problem. By now, the story had hit the media. Everyone knew about 657 Boulevard, the strange letters, the threats, the watcher. No one wanted to buy a haunted house with a real-life stalker. Even worse, Derek had invested a lot of money into renovating the house, expensive paint jobs, interior work. He thought it would raise the home's value. But instead it tanked. No offers, no buyers, just loss after loss. From 2014 to 2015, then 2016, the house wouldn't sell. No new letters arrived either. It was just silence. Then in 2017, they tried something else, renting it. Surprisingly, someone agreed. A new tenant moved in. But just a short while later, a fourth letter arrived. And this one was different. It was addressed to the renter. In it, the watcher wrote things like, "If you damage 657 Boulevard, your car might crash. A fire might break out. You might fall ill. Someone in your family might disappear. Or worse, someone you love might suddenly die. In a plane, in a car, in a bicycle crash. Bones will break." The tenant had known about the watcher, sure, but nothing had happened in years. So he'd stayed. The rent was cheap. But after reading that letter, he left. Fast forward to 2019. The house still hadn't sold. Finally, a man working in an insurance company expressed interest in buying the now infamous 657 Boulevard. He had heard the stories, read the headlines, but still, he made the deal. Derek had bought the house for $1.4 million. He sold it for just under $970,000. That's a loss of over $400,000. When the press later asked Derek why he still sold it at such a steep loss, he simply said, "Money didn't matter. My family's safety and my peace of mind were more important. I had to let it go." And so, Derek and Maria moved to a new house nearby with their 3 children. No more letters. No more threats. Life finally went quiet. As for the new owner, they never reported receiving a single letter. But the mystery didn't stop there. Some people began to speculate. Was the watcher even real? Some believed Derek had faked the letters. After all, he wasn't exactly rich before buying the house. He had taken out big loans, leveraged assets. Maybe this was an elaborate ploy to get out of debt, but nothing was ever proven. Investigators combed through 100 years of the home's history. They interviewed neighbors, checked DNA, handwriting, CCTV, everything. They found nothing. The watcher was never caught. Netflix even picked up the story and turned it into a show, The Watcher. You might have seen it, but the big question remains. Who was the watcher? Why did they claim their grandfather watched the house for 40 years, then their father, and now them? What was the obsession? And why did they threaten, but never strike? We may never know. But one thing's for sure. 657 Boulevard, once a dream home, has become one of the most disturbing real estate mysteries in American history. Thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time. If you enjoyed this story and want more like it, please share it with your friends and family. Until then, I'll see you right here next time.